I see the delightful Tim Kirkshin has arrived. This always makes us and the listeners and the viewers happy.
How do you eat, Tim? What do you prefer, bowl or plate?
I'll take a bowl, just so it stays in the bowl. I made dinner last night and I put it in a bowl when most people would put it on a plate. Either way is good with me. I eat for fuel, not much more than that.
I'm the opposite. I eat soup out of a plate. I don't get much soup. Thanks, Tim.
Hi, Greg.
How you doing? Good?
Yeah.
All right. Good talking to you. Can I start off with a question for Tim? The Hall of Fame vote happens, right? What a bad ballot. Two guys, Beltran and Andruw Jones get in. All of the first ballot guys got like 0.5% except Cole Hamels. What were your overall thoughts about the election?
Yeah, well, it wasn't a bad ballot, but it was, I usually vote for 10 guys for the Hall of Fame. And there were a couple years there that if I had had 15, 16, 17 votes, which I don't because 10 is the maximum, I would have voted for 17 guys.
Yeah, well, Tim.
And this year I voted for 3. I'm not proud of that, but I voted for Carlos Beltran, Andruw Jones, and Chase Utley. And the rest, I had trouble leaving Dustin Pedroia off and Felix Hernandez and people like that because I think those guys have a Hall of Fame case. But I guess I'm a big Hall guy to only vote for 3 guys maybe speaks to what the ballot looked like this year. And you're right, the first-timers was not a strong group of first-timers. I was surprised Cole Hamels, I came close to voting for him, but he got 25% of the vote, which is pretty darn good for a first time on the ballot. But you're right, Greg. I've seen way, way, way stronger ballots than this one.
Yeah, and when I say it was a weak ballot, I agree with you. Normally you vote for 10. I think I voted for 5 or 6. But Cole Hamels, I get criticized as a voter for holding sacrosanct the first ballot guy. I'm never going to vote for a guy his first year on the ballot unless I really think he deserves it.
I have another criticism for you today. You want to tell people how you voted? Because you mentioned Andruw Jones.
Yeah.
You're a really inconsistent voter. I don't think you remember how you voted previously.
Yeah, I didn't vote for Andruw Jones for years, and I was in the majority for that.
Well, what the hell changed?
What changed is that some guys...
He's an eighth-year guy.
Some guys are elite Hall of Famers, and some guys are borderline
But why
Hall
not
of
last
Famers.
year? Why this year? And why not next year? Like, what are you doing? Andruw Jones
Let's create tiers for the Hall of Fame then. If we're going to allow people in, if we're going to reconsider them 15 years later.
Okay, all I can tell you is I'm in the majority here because the majority went 8 years without voting for Andruw Jones, and then gradually over time, the appreciation for him increased, the appreciation for his defense, for what have you. But he's a borderline Hall of Famer.
I will tell you why you're not in the majority. None of those voters did what you did socially when you said why you weren't voting for Andruw Jones 5 years ago.
So, short question. I'll just make a statement. I feel like either a guy's a Hall of Famer or he's not a Hall of Famer. Okay, there's that. But there is someone called, I'll give him the credit, someone called Reed Stewart, great follower of yours on Twitter, okay, loves you apparently. Reed Stewart, but he dug up an old tweet of yours, all right? Mm-hmm. And it's with an old ballot of yours from 5 years ago. And on your ballot, you explained, appreciate all of your comments on my Hall ballot, but one thing jumps out. You Andruw Jones folks are delusional. Seriously, good player. Hall, not close. 0 shot at Cooperstown.
Oh, no.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Okay.
Oh, no,
I
Dad.
agreed that tweet does not age well, but I also quote the famous Zaslow, who just recently on this air said, my opinion changed. Okay.
But my opinion changed with more body of work. You didn't have any more body of work.
Tim, is that offensive, what you just saw? I think Greg Cody should have his vote revoked, like they did to me.
No. Now, let me attempt to explain one reason why some guys just get on, they start getting votes, because some years there are, as I've said, 15 guys on the ballot, and 5 of them I believe are Hall of Famers, but you can't vote for them because there's not enough room. In a year like this, when there is plenty of room, in my mind, for a player to move up on, that's how you get left off one year and put on the next, because there is room or there is not room. With Andruw Jones, again, 400 homers and 10 gold gloves. That's Mays, Griffey, Mike Schmidt, Andruw Jones. That's it. It's a pretty short list. And again, I'm almost 70, and I saw Willie Mays play. And Andruw Jones, other than Willie Mays, is the best defensive center fielder that I've ever seen. When I was at SI, I wrote a story on the most difficult play at each position, like when you charge a bunt and have to barehand it at third base, who's the best at that? Well, I took center field and I said the hardest play for a center fielder is the ball hit directly over his head. And when I started looking around and talking to players about who's the best at this, I brought up Ken Griffey Jr. to several of the San Diego Padres, and they literally laughed at me and said, Tim, there is nobody who's ever been better at going back on a ball over his head in center field than Andruw Jones. Now, I maintain Willie Mays was better, but Andruw Jones is that good, and when he's the second best defensive center fielder I've ever seen, and he hit 435 homers, that's why I voted for him.
I would add that there are gradations of Hall of Famers, and it's not a mystery or a crime when a guy takes 8 years to get in. It took Beltran 4 years to get in. King Felix took a big spike in voting this year, which suggests he's going to get in. But again, if you make it your first year, you're an elite Hall of Famer. If you make it your 8th year, you're a borderline Hall of Famer. They're all in Cooperstown, but there are different grades and levels of Hall of Famers.
Are you done tweeting that a guy's 0%, though? You're probably going to learn that lesson.
Okay, based on the electorate then, he seemed to have
You're not going to say, all right,
you're going to double down?
Chris,
No, but
don't
you
shoot
said he's
the messenger.
not a Hall of Famer.
I said based on the electorate then, he had 0 chance, which he did. I did not expect him.
You're going to defend what you did?
Okay, and Tim will agree with me on this. In the 8th, 9th, 10th year, sometimes you get a bump. You get a sentimental bump because voters realize this is your last chance, or you're coming up to your last. No,
you're either a Hall of Famer or you're not, Greg.
Okay, well, that maybe that's
sentimental bump.
Maybe that's why they stripped your vote from you.
They should strip yours. Like, I can't believe what he just did. Like, what he just read, zero chance on Andruw Jones, and 5 years later, when he's played no baseball games, now he's a Hall of Famer.
Okay, so I'm the first voter who has changed his mind about a player. Get in the real world and grow up on that. Okay, Andruw Jones did not make the Hall of Fame for 7 years. Gradually, the support for him increased. I was part of that gradual support.
You're sheep. You're a lemming.
We're not electing a pope. It's whether or not you're in the Hall of Fame. Are you worthy of it when your name comes up or not? Me and Zaz park our cars in the same garage.
Tim, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do Damashek and Zaz park their cars in the same garage? And does Ed Malloy, NBA referee Ed Malloy, look like the guy who brushes his teeth in the company bathroom? He absolutely does. Like, that is unbelievable how much he looks like that. Does Adam Silver, Tim, look like a knitting needle? Does Adam Silver look like a magician's wand? Does Adam Silver, when he's standing next to Larry Bird, do they look like the couple in the famous painting American Gothic? The Zoom kills us on the looks like segment because his laugh doesn't...
Maybe we'll do a phone hit next time.
It doesn't make a sound when he's laughing. Tim, there are a lot of people pissed off about Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers, and now the Athletic is reporting that there's 100% gonna be a work stoppage because of what has happened with the Dodgers and payroll. They're gonna have a payroll over $400 million in 2026. Only 3 other teams are going to be over 300 million. The Marlins and the Rays project under 100 million. What are your thoughts there?
I think there's going to be a work stoppage also, although I pray all the time that that doesn't happen. I'm not blaming all of this on the Dodgers because the Dodgers do an exceptional job of drafting and developing. And when they get a player from another team, he routinely gets better when he comes to the Dodgers. But there's no doubt there are major issues in disparity among the small market teams and the big market teams. And it's not going to be solved by a salary cap because there's just no way the players are going to allow that to happen. So are the Dodgers a part of the problem? Of course they are, but so are the Mets and the Yankees and a bunch of other teams. And baseball needs to fix this, and it is not going to be an easy fix.
Does Dave Dameshek look like a realtor that would buy a billboard that reads "License to sell" while posing like James Bond?
Now, I'm sorry, fellas. Who is Dave Dameshek? Am I supposed to know?
Oh, this is a career highlight. Tim Kirkjian doesn't know who the hell is Dave Dameshek. I'm over the moon, Tim Kirkjian.
That's okay. If you didn't know that one, you might not know this one either. Does Jonathan Zaslow look like your big toe after hitting it on the corner of the bed?
Why is that the one he laughs the hardest at?
Does Jonathan...
No,
He knows
no,
Zaslow,
Jonathan.
but he doesn't know Dameshek.
I'm sorry. That is so insulting. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. By the way, none of this matters, but I wear shoes 24, except for when I go to bed and get in the shower. I wear shoes and socks in the house, period, because my father, who was a very smart man, used to tell us, you have a game tonight. Don't break your big toe smashing it up against the couch. Put your shoes on. So they're on all the time. And now when I go into my daughter's house, I have to take off my shoes and put on house shoes that they bought me for Christmas because those house shoes have not been outside bringing dirt into the house. So now I can still keep my shoes on at my daughter's house, but they're a special kind of shoe that I have to wear, shoes that have never been worn outside. Am I being wrong about this, that I really enjoy having shoes on my feet for protection and for warmth?
I just want to know how many times your father banged his toe and couldn't play in a game that night.
Seriously. That's what
My dad was a good player, and my 2 older brothers were great college baseball players. And my dad was just not going to allow one of his 3 boys to get hurt doing something stupid and miss a game that night. I don't think my dad ever missed a game. That wasn't the point. He didn't want it to happen. And I used to tell my daughter, who was a great high school basketball player, put your shoes on. You have a game tonight. I used to tell her that all the time. I told her that the other day. She's 34 years old. She hasn't played basketball in 15 years. And
Never heard of her.
My daughter made 54 out of 56 free throws her senior year in high school. 54 out
Damn
of
good point
56.
guard.
That's
Damn.
96.4%. And
To
get
be
this, I'm
exact.
so terrible at technology, but I went to a video editor the other day who took the 4-minute tape of my daughter's senior year in high school, her basketball tape, and he put it on my phone. So now in my photos, I have a 4-minute video that all I have to do is press a button and I can watch a video of my daughter's senior year in high school. Is that ridiculous? Am I being stupid about that too?
Does it bring you to tears? And I'm not being
does.
facetious. Yeah.
It
That's
does.
great.
It
Greg
was
just
one of
voted
the-
her into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
And my grandson is now 5, and he went to basketball the other day for the first time. 5 years old. He was 4 when he went the first time. He just turned 5. And he was clearly the best player there. And his dad said, boy, you have the best shooting form, Karkar, of anybody there. And he said, wow, I learned it from mommy. And that's because he watched the tape that I made of Mommy's senior year with the perfect follow through and the perfect finish. Talk about holding the finish. It was great. And my daughter's like 3 feet tall, and she made 54 out of 56. So please don't tell me NBA players can't shoot free throws.
Wow.
If you work at it, you can.
How about that?
Does Jonathan Zaslow look like he says, uh-oh, spaghetti-o, when he sees someone pulled over?
He loves mine.
Well, this one's a good one. Does Jonathan Zaslow look like an off-duty mime? that one's exceptional. I've got a handful of Curt Cignetti's for you. Are you ready for some Curt Cignetti's? Does he look like the dad who never says I love you? Does he look like your accountant who, unbeknownst to you, is in the middle of a crippling divorce?
Read yesterday, no one ever tweets at me ever, which is fine. And then yesterday I looked on there, there are like 50 tweets sent to me because of you put it out there that so-and-so looks like so-and-so. It was hilarious.
Does Curt Cignetti look like the uncle who comes to your house for Thanksgiving and before even saying hello says, your doorknob's loose?
God.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I have one of my own, which I think I've told you before, that some guy tweeted at me several years ago. Tim Kurkjian looks like what Steve Carell is going to look like when he gets really, really old.
That's not bad. That's not
And
bad.
I looked it up. Steve Carell is only 6 years younger than me, but I look like he's going to look like when he gets not really old, really, really old.
Does Fernando Mendoza look like he makes his animal crackers fight each other before he eats them? This is a good one. Does Fernando Mendoza look like the cashier in a 1960s McDonald's poster? That one is exceptional. I saw that Dave Dombrowski said it was a gut punch, Tim, to see Bichette go to the Mets, and then started talking a lot about not feeling like they had a deal done because a deal's never done until it's done. But I was surprised to hear Dombrowski feel, I guess, a little bit betrayed. What did you make of those comments and that transaction?
Yeah, very unlike Dave Dombrowski to say something like that, because he usually gets whoever he wants because he's really good at this. But I happen to think Bo Bichette is a really, really good hitter still. I mean, he came back last year. He didn't play from September the 6th until the World Series, and then was a tough out in the World Series. He's going to have a great year for the Mets. He's going to play third base. He's not going to play shortstop, obviously. He can play third base. He's going to be a really good player for them. And yes, the Phillies could have really used him to play, the outfield or somewhere in the infield third base when they need some help. So yes, I thought he was going to the Phillies, but he's really going to help the Mets. And I'm still surprised that Dave Dombrowski would basically acknowledge I didn't get somebody, because he usually gets his man.
From the bottom up, 3, 2, 1, give me the offseason's biggest transactions. I will tell the people, I'll give you a minute to think about this, 3, 2, 1. But he's the host of Is This a Great Game or What? He does the podcast with his son, Jeff. It's a passion project. It's a project of great love. I urge you, not just for baseball, but for family, I urge you to subscribe to Is This a Great Game or What? That he does with his son, Jeff, Tim Kurkjian. If not for Ron McGill, he'd be, by consensus, the most popular guest who's ever been on this show. The biggest 3 transactions, starting with number 3 this offseason. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, I think Dylan Cease going to the Blue Jays is number 3, because it's just another, and they spent $210 million for him. It's just another reminder of this is where the Blue Jays are. They're the best team in the American League. They have the 5th highest payroll. When they went to the World Series, they recognized that things are really changing here in Toronto. So they've added a bunch of people, and to add another star player a pitcher with a great arm, I think is a sign that the Blue Jays are here for the long term. They got a taste of what it's like to be in the World Series and what it did to their ballpark, their fan base. So that would be number 3 for me. Number 2 would be, well, let's see. Kyle Tucker has to be number 1, but let me see. Number 2, the Dodgers had a chance. Dodgers had a terrible bullpen last year, and they won the World Series. And then they went out and got Edwin Diaz, the closer for the Mets, who was a free agent. They only had to pay him only $69 million. So they won the World Series in 2024 without a starting rotation. They won the World Series in 2025 without a bullpen. Now they've added a dominant closer. So now their pitching is just ridiculously good. And now their lineup is ridiculously good because Kyle Tucker, who is the best player on the market, signed with the Dodgers. He'll play right field every day. And that lineup is loaded just as much as their pitching is loaded.
Tim, we thank you for your time. We love seeing you. I will tell the people again to listen and subscribe to Tim and Jeff Kirkshin's podcast, Is This a Great Game or What? What is the strangest thing you've eaten in your car? We had the bowl of cereal. What would you identify as the strangest thing? I go chicken wings. I've eaten chicken wings in the car, and that's my greatest shame. And I had worry while I was eating them. Someone's going to take a picture of this, and I'm not going to be able to explain it. That I couldn't wait to get home to eat the chicken wings.
Yeah, I am always in a hurry. So sometimes I eat while I'm driving because I don't have time to stop and sit and eat. So I've eaten oatmeal many, many times in a car, many times. Now, it's pretty thick, so it's not like it's going to be falling out of the bowl. It's a thick oatmeal, but I've eaten oatmeal in the car many times.
Does Kurt Warner look like the villain in a Christmas movie who wants to take over the North Pole and make the elves pawns in his capitalist scheme?
Jeff Van Gundy looks like he works in an ice cream parlor.
Soda jerk from the 60s, also the Queen of Hearts. Tim, good seeing you. Thank you. Always nice seeing you. Always a pleasure. Do you guys believe that Ron McGill looks like your recently divorced mom's first date, who, when you answer the door, is vigorously chewing his gum and combing his hair with his palm comb as he leans ever so slightly back to gander at the size of the home while never once acknowledging you with his eyes? And he's coming to bleep. Like he's there to make love to your mom. What is the strangest thing you guys have eaten in the car? Shameful admissions only. Do we not have any strange car eaters?
Rotisserie chicken.
What?
And I'll dip it into the side of mashed potatoes.